So we got the blocks or whatever, and if you can see, but I put, there's 1 block, 2 blocks, 3. I'm going to prepare to make these Alltrac friendly. I got to grind. The transfer case sits in this area, so when you bolt, well, I'll show you later, but you bolt the bolter up and the 5S block, all this is in the way the transfer case sits here, so you got to grind this all down, like basically flush with this between these 2 ribs, and then a little bit of the lip down here on the oil pan rail, or whatever you want to call this. You got to grind it on an angle to fit a little bit, so it goes. Let me bring it over here so that this part right here, this is going to be right up against the block, and then the block end bolts down way down there at this bolt here. So I gotta grind all those and make them nice and friendly. And I still haven't torn these 2 apart. I know one of them's got a good crank. I gotta find out about the other one. And this one's going into an MR2, so I don't have to grind this on that one, but get going on this stuff. So I haven't checked it yet, but I just want to show you some things that I do. So I always try and get it pretty much flush. It doesn't have to be 100%, but pretty close to flush here with the block. It's raised a little bit, 1/4 inch or something. Then this you get so there's no more threads, but there's a dimple. It's kind of like my mark. Then by the time you get by this 2 here, right in here, no threads, a little bit raised, basically flush with the block, like that should be like a flat almost. And then this should be flat. And then the big tell is, for this one there was a bolt hole, and you go till that dimple's completely gone and flush in here. This was a raised thing like this. It's gone, and then I made it like an edge, and then I end up having to grind like a 45-degree bevel here, because that's how, probably don't even notice it, but on a 3S block, that's how it is. So, I ground it so you can't see that dimple anymore. I kind of feathered these in. I left that how it was last time. And then I tapered that edge. So that's how it normally is. You kind of grind into that bolt. You start hitting these. And this is ready for a test fit. So then I have I have this. I'm going to pull it off the stand. I'll bolt this up. This is just an empty, there's nothing inside it. No gears, no nothing, it's just extra case that I'm going to put on the block and test fit it, so we'll see if it works. So I have the transfer case bolted on, I have my mock-up one, and it's hard. When you do this, you're like, oh man, I can't really tell. So my big test is a sheet of paper. can I come here and just slide a piece of paper through. Look at that. Clears. So that's done. So the next step is there's a bracket that goes here, and then I gotta drill and tap 4 holes there, and this block's ready for the machine shop, almost. Got a couple other things I want to do, but as far as clearancing for the transfer case, that's all I gotta do is that, and then the 4 holes. So I just want to explain this. On the 5S block, this pad is a little bit higher. So when you put this bracket on, you need to, you put the bracket and it will teeter back and forth on these two because that pad's high. And you grind it and you put it back, you grind it until it just lays flat and it's not teetering. Then you know it's good. And then you put the transfer case on and bolt the bracket up. So that's where I'm at now. So then you use a transfer punch, which, you find the size that matches this, and you just put it in, matches the hole of the bracket because the bracket's bolted down, so it's all aligned. So you put it in, right? And then I got my hammer here. You just get some wax. Right? Pull it out. I don't know if you can see in there. There's a little dimple in there. So that's what you center the drill on. So then I like to put this in. That centers me for straight up and down. Then I got the drill bit marked with how deep to go, because this is the bolt I basically just did a little extra than the bolt, right? And put a little cutting oil on the tip. And I, like I said, I use that dimple. Gonna do it in one-handed. I center the drill bit up with that. I don't know how good this taping, but I'm gonna stop so I can get this straight. That's what I do, and I kind of use that as a guide. I go like this, make sure it's straight. Put my head this way, make sure it matches straight that one, and then I know it's good. So I got these 2 holes done, but I don't have an 11/32 drill bit, which I need for the tap, which is, I don't know, whatever, but all right here for this tap. So I gotta go get one from the hardware store real quick. So got these 2 tapped, got these tightened. Going to take these bolts out and pull the whole transfer case off to make room so I can drill and tap these holes with this held in place by these 2. So that's the next step. Here's the bracket, all 4 holes drilled, block ground. So, if it's an MR2, you'd have to drill these 2. But the Alltrac takes all this extra work. So this block's basically ready. I'm going to do some breathers, but normally people don't do that, but this is what you would have to do for an Alltrac. So 1 block down, 5 more to go. Alright, so I got the engine back on the stand, and I got it all ground here, for the transfer case, which we saw at test fit. And then I hooked up that bracket, and I drilled it, or ground this side down because it's high. And then I drilled and tapped these 4 holes. And then on this side, I drilled this out. Let me show you. I drilled that out as a breather, and I tapped it with a 1/2 inch NPT. And then you can see through here, I drilled this one out, but I need to drill 3/8 right now. I gotta go 7/16. And then I'm gonna tap it with a 1/4 NPT, and I can make that a little breather too. But for now, I'm just gonna plug that, but I definitely wanna run that one. So that's how I'm doing these. So this one's like basically ready to go to the machine shop. I need like 5-10 more minutes with it, and it's good to go. So one down, 5 more to go.